Hey guys, it's Trisha, the Left-Handed Stitcher. I'm here today to do an update. My last update was 4th of October, so it's been not quite 2 months, but more than a month. So we've got quite a bit to do. At the beginning of November, I just didn't feel like doing a video, so I let myself just not do one. So, but I want to get this one done so that I can start focusing on a end of year whip parade. So, all right, so I got all my notes, and so for this time frame that I'm doing the update, I've had 5 finishes, 3 starts, 1 abandoned project that will probably get restarted at some point, and I've put stitches into 24 of my whips. So buckle up, Buttercup, it's gonna be a while. Hopefully, I mean, it's as long as it's gonna be, let's put it that way. Alright, so let's just get into it. My first project to show you is one of my What Whip projects. So he is finished. And this is my Loki. Oh gosh, he is so pretty. So pretty. I love him. So this is my first sort of full coverage, even though he's not full coverage. The part that is him, Loki, I named him, is a full coverage. And I am heavily confettied, so I stitched him my first time parking. And it went well. I learned the style, what worked best for me, and he went really well. So he was finished on the 10th of October, and the prompt that I was putting stitches in that finished him was a whip that you would like to be judged by the fairies. And so I figured being an owl, a forest animal, would gain favor with the fairies. So there he is. So that was number 3 finish for the What Whip. That's what I'm looking for, quad. Anyways, he had pledged 4 projects, and he was finished number 3 out of 4. All right. I was just thinking about, if it's a finish, do I do extra? Do I do some extra stuff? Okay, so he's pretty simple. Stitched on 18 count black Ada. Oh, look at that face. So pretty. This was a Etsy pattern. So if you are interested, for the whip parades, I will post all of the projects, I think. My memory. My memory. I can't remember. So if you can't find it on my last whip parade, ping me and I will provide the information. Okay, so project number 2 is my number 4 What Whip. So I have completed all of my What Whip pledges. So let me get my beads off. Show you. So here is Kathy's violets. Let's see if I can get up close. Can you see the beads? I don't know in the soft light if they sparkle at all, but quite a few beads on here. This is a chatelaine pattern. It was a freebie when I got it, but now it's a pay-for pattern. I made quite a few changes to the pattern, just in case you're interested in what beads I used. So for the border part, I used a Mill Hill, that one. Okay, and then for the green parts, I used that one. For the yellow centers on the flowers, I used that one. And then for that very center medallion, the ones I used on the border didn't quite look right, so I changed it to this color. So this was a fun little project. It was one of those ones I just worked on whenever a prompt came along. So, and it turned out pretty cute. Gave me some good practice with my beading. Alright, so Kathy's Violets was finished on the 8th of November, and I used two prompts for this one. So it got the not remaining, but additional stitches on the whip I want to be judged by fairies. It might have been the remaining. Yes, it was the rest of those stitches for that prompt, because then for the second prompt, it is what that finished on was a whip that has caused me trouble because I kept poking myself with the beading needle. So I managed to not bleed on the project, but that was causing me a bit of trouble. Okay. So the next one is my Among Black Cats. He got stitches for one prompt, something that has claws, and it's a kitty, so yep. So that is where I'm up to. You can see the white stitches. That'll make sense once since he's not finished. I will have to remember to do the photo. So here's what he looks like finished. So there'll be a crap ton of backstitch once I finish all the cross stitches. It's a cute little project by RTO. Okay, so the next one is my antique Celtic sampler. So here is what the stock photo looks like. And this is where I'm at. So I moved the Q-snap down, so this upper part is all done. So I think it's just the last couple of prompts I've gotten stitches in the dragon. So this one has gotten stitches for an ocean animal because there's fish on the bottom, and something with stalagmites is and stalactites. So stalactites or snakes, and there's snakes right there. So a lot to progress. Now I haven't stitched the two birds right here yet. I've decided I'm not going to. I am working on charting a little pattern for right in here, but I think I'm gonna have to pull this out and scooch it over a little bit to get it to fit right, but we'll see what happens when I get to it. So a nice fun little project, and it's nice stitches, you know, it's nice, a nice you know, pattern, easy to follow. I like it. Alright, so the next one is my Azure Mermaid. So here is what she looks like, and here is my progress on her. So pretty. So pretty much tail before I get to the fin is done, and I'm working on this back fin right here. So pretty. So I found that Magical Stitches prompts, it's going to be a good thing. It's a good idea to always have a mermaid on the go, because they do fill up quite a few prompts. So she got work on one prompt was the teacup spells. So this one was toss the teacup into the sea to give the person's soul to the sea witch. So I use that because she lives in the sea. And the second prompt was a thing that is submerged. Of course, obviously a mermaid is submerged. So okay, so the next one is my Blissfully Unaware by Hands-On Design. This guy is, okay, give me a second. I parked my needle in a weird spot, and it was getting discombobulated. So of course, you know, it's on the Q-snap, you're not going to see the whole thing, but I am making excellent progress on the words. So this one is getting very, very close to finish. So this one got 2 prompts. One was for the sisters. So Lucinda is the oldest, so stitch on your oldest whip, which ended up being this guy. Hot flash. Oh, I forgot. I meant to do this at the beginning of videos. T-shirt time. Alright, so this one, I tried being normal once. Worst 2 minutes of my life. So today I'm drinking iced coffee that my husband made for me. Alright, so next one is my Emerald Mermaid. This is the one that I have decided to abandon with hopes on restarting. Alright, so when I went to figure out what was my oldest whip, this is the one that popped up. And I had it on my Millennium frame, and I couldn't bring myself to work on it. I had to work on it at the table, and it does a number on my back. So I pulled it off the Millennium frame with the intent of moving it to my Q-snaps. And I even went and got my pattern redone, new working copies made of my pattern. And then I made the decision, I hate this fabric. It's so loosey-goosey. It is linen. It was the called for fabric, although it wasn't this color when I got it. I dyed it to get it more sea-like, and yep, so I have decided I am going to abandon. Now granted, you know, there's quite a few stitches in here, but there's a bunch left. I mean, at least I haven't gotten into the skin yet and all of that seaweed around her. So this one is going to, well, obviously I'm not going to pull the stitches out because I hate the fabric. I'm not going to reuse the fabric, so I have plans. Okay, so what I would like to do with this is pass it on to somebody who would like to stitch it. I cannot give you the pattern because I'm going to restart this project. So you will just get the fabric with the stitching that's already on it. And I have used all called for. So all you need to do is buy the pattern, which as far as I know, this is not out of print. It's still available. So if you want to, I'm going to do a drawing for this. If you want this, again, this is what you're going to get. You have to buy your own pattern. In your comment, use the words Emerald Mermaid. Alright? Just like I would like to stitch Emerald Mermaid. And my next video I will do a drawing for it. Okay, but let me show you the fabric I believe I have settled on to stitch her. So this is a Bestitch Me fabric, just called Gray. So I think this was one of her maybe monthlies or Friday Night Fight Night or something like that. But it is beautiful color that I really think she's gonna look good on. So, and the variegation in it works for an underwater scene, I believe. So I think it's my usual 32 count Lugana, my favorite. So I am looking forward to restarting her on this. So, although I do reserve the right to change my mind on that. But when I get the need to do the restart is when I'll do that. Okay, in you go. Alright, so the next one is my Fox and Friend. Love this pattern. This is a Teresa Kogut Nashville release. And here's where he's at. So, starting to pull the colors down. Look at that tail. That's a massive tail. I love stitching on this because he is so freaking adorable. I am so glad that I decided to buy the pattern from Nashville releases and got started. Okay, you guys, give me a second. Oh, I had a sneeze. Obviously didn't want to be on camera, so. Alright, so the next one is my, oh geez, again, I forget, you know, my own pattern. So Fox and Friend got 2 prompts. The first one is an animal in the canine family, of which a fox is in the canid family. And so, prompt was something that parted ways, or something where you have an item between 2 identical items. So the fox is between 2, you know, ferny, frondy kind of plants. So, alright, so then next one is my herding cats. And I've moved the Q-snap, so I'm pretty certain that the blue one, that's almost, you can't see him because of the Q-snap, is from October. I watched Frozen, so I did that one. And then in November I watched Coco because we were in Mexico. So just a plethora of kitty cats. Perfect project for the watching stitches. Okay, so now we get to go to page 2. And this project is my Kingdom of Books. Okay, so let's pull out its big old picture, because it is a massive project. So that's what it'll eventually look like, or close facsimile thereof. And let me pull out the one color I'm working on. And you know what? I have decided that for this, video, I was gonna de-Q-snap it, because I want to adjust the Q-snaps, and I was waiting for a good time, and I figured, you know what, video is a good time, because some of the progress that I had, stuff dropping on the floor. So while I am de-Q-snapping it, I will tell you its prompts, because it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prompts. So the first one is something I would like to inherit. Of course, if I could inherit a big freaking library, that would be awesome. Second prompt was whip that has taken the place of the favorite whip. And this one seems to have be the one that I always tend to reach for, so yes. It used the rest of the stitches from the whip that caused me trouble, and this one has caused me trouble because I tend to stitch on it when I should be doing other things. Number 4 prompt was a thing that is used for communication. Well, books, yes, used for communication. And for the October extra credit, it spelled out odd sisters. So for O, I used opening, because doors and windows are openings. D for dental molding, because they're old buildings. D for doors, S for street. I for iron gate. S for steps. T for tree. E for eaves. R for Roman numerals, because the books do have Roman numerals on them, and S for shades, because there's window shades. And so I was able to use one project for all of those prompts. Alright, so let's hold it up. There we are. That's where I'm at. So I got all of the gate section done and moved to that upper, you know, terrace, clock tower kind of building. So, yep, there it is. And I wanted to move the Q-snaps up a little higher because I wasn't sure, since I didn't grid this thing, I wasn't sure how high the stitching was going to go. So I was conservative in my Q-snap move, and I found that I really do need just to move it up higher to get use. So pretty good amount of progress on that upper building. Let's pull that guy out again. So that's what, sorry for the glare, that's what I'm working on right now, this guy right here. And then I will flip a coin to figure out, do I start on this book and work this way, or do I start on this book and work this way? Once I finish the center part, we'll see. Alright, so there it is. And again, here is the whole piece of fabric that this guy is going to be on. So big, so big. Alright, let's fold this up kind of nice so I can put it back into the project bag. And then I'll get it back on its Q-snaps the next time I work on it. Excuse the noise for a second. Gotta get all the parts and pieces from the Q-snap back in the bag with it. Alright. So there's that. Alright, well, one box, one bin, oh, emptied, that's the word. Okay, so the next project is my magic potion. This was a little daily cross stitch pattern, and it got finished. Just a simple little graphic. Came in handy in quite a few of the prompts. Now it's going to be interesting for next year to see what trends there are with the prompts, because this different book series kind of lend themselves to different types of prompts, and so there are certain lines of trend that you'll see with them. So this one worked well for me this year, and last year. I started it last year. So this one was finished on the 8th of November, and it was the prompt that I used it for was something that could be broken and glued back together. And it's a glass jar, so glass beaker or vial, I don't know what word you want to use, but that could be broken and glued back together. Alright, so my next project, Mick Christmas. Find its pattern. So this is what it will look like. He's so adorable. And the prompt that was used for this was a project that uses 2 skeins of the same color. And this project has 3 colors with 2 skeins of it listed. So there's my progress on him. A lot of stitches in this guy. So a lot of red. And then once I get down to his face, gray for days. Someone that stitched it, the person that I saw the picture of when they showed their finished project, said, yeah, when you get to his face, it was gray forever. Alright. Alright, so my next project is my Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. And it's got stitches for a prompt. 2 animals that can be put together to create a villain. So let's pull out the picture. There it is. And so I figured a cat with a big old bird, that could be a rather formidable villain. So here is my progress. Yay. So filled in her skirt, started on one of the flowers that borders her, because I'm still deciding on the color I want to stitch the cat in. Big old cat. Narrowed it down, so the next time I stitch on it, I might be able to get started on him. Alright, so number 14 is my other Teresa Kogut pattern that I bought up in, when I went to Ohio for a stitch away. We went to the Craft Gallery in Findlay, Ohio, and this is that's where I bought this. And she got 3 prompts. So it was something with wings, a design that starts with H or P, so pray, and then design with a girl prominent. So yes, prominent indeed. So there we go. I am making a lot of progress on that upper halo. This is going to be beautiful when it's done. So let's go this way. Next project is Maroon Trio. And this was pulled from this pattern by Draco Lair Creations. I asked my husband what 3 runes were his favorite, and so he told me, and I built a small pattern out of it. So Maroon Trio was finished on the 8th of November, and it was some more stitches for the something that could be broken and glued back together, because stone tiles will fit that bill. So here we go. Here's my finish on Maroon Trio. Cute little, just little pattern. An uber amount of blends in this thing. More blends than not. So there he is. Another finish. Although I'm debating, I really am debating if I want to start this whole thing. Maybe, because I mean, look at that border. Okay, so Draco Lair Creations is no longer in business. So if this pattern interests you, you might find it on eBay or Etsy or DStash. But good luck is what I say. Keep going that way when I need to just fill up this empty bin on that side. Okay, so the next one is one of my monthly magazine challenge starts for October was Scarecross Silhouette. And I don't have a picture of it because it's from a magazine. I will try to put one there. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, so here is my progress on this guy. So Scarecrow's, his arm is there, and then the first stalk of corn. And I'm stitching this with DMC 3021, a dark brown. So I think that works for this. So this was started on the 15th of October. It has gotten 3 prompts so far. The first one was for the 3 sisters. Martha is the youngest, so my newest whip, and since this was a start on that week, that was my newest. It got one for the teacup spells. So fill a cup with what frightens them most to give them nightmares. And creepy damn, you know, dried corn field and a scarecrow. Creepy. And then the other prompt, the last prompt was something that could be used as a voodoo doll. And when that one came out, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Because I just like last month finished my freaking voodoo doll pattern. So yeah, I use this one because scarecrows often have burlap sacks for their heads, and you often make voodoo dolls out of burlap, so that worked for that. So when I post the picture, you know, I'm sorry, okay, so I won't post the picture when I said I was going to. I'll post it now, and I will put the information of what magazine it came from in it. Okay, the next one is my silver moon tea. Pattern that is so good at prompts. So there's what it looks like, and this is where mine is currently at. Woohoo! Wow, she's coming along. She is. So I'm just filling in gaps, you know, in this lower part, and then I'm gonna get her hair and her dress done, and then all of this moon finished, and the teacup and all that, and then I will do her skin, and then after that I will do all the beads. So there she is. She's fun. She is super fun to work on. And she gets a lot of love. Alright, so you go here. Excuse me a moment while I organize these just a little bit. Make a little room for the next few. Okay, so next page in my notes. Number 18 on our whip roster today is Through the Storms. So this is a Silver Creek Samplers pattern, and this is where I'm at. So this got 2 prompts. Something to get stuck in, because there's a big old rain puddle, so you could get stuck in the mud in there, or stuck in a rainstorm would work too. And then something that create a shadow. So I said once the sun came out from behind the cloud, that the ducks with the umbrella would create a shadow. So one change that I have to point out is I switched out Elemento. I need to find okay. And of course, I did not leave the Oh, that's right. I didn't have an envelope for it because I didn't even process the floss, since I became quite aware that that was not going to work. Okay, so the called for color is gassed copper. So I switched it out with Antique Rose by Gassed Antique Rose for this part that's being stitched right now in the umbrella. So this works. This would not have worked. See what I mean? So when I got this floss from wherever I ordered it from, and I saw it wasn't gonna work, I went through my stash and managed to find this color, which is perfect for it. So happy day for that. But I just wanted to let you guys know in case somebody was interested. I think when I've made a few color changes in this, so once I finish this project I will point out all of the changes that I made. Okay, so boom, boom, and floss. So the next project is my Tired Trio. So cute. Alright, so I know I have a picture. So this is what it will look like. Boom. And it's by Plum Street Samplers. And here is where I'm at. Oh. So it like almost doesn't fit in the Q-snap. So there it is. So cute. So stinking cute. I think we may as well fit this guy in here. Last one. And then they get to stack on top. Okay, so the next project is my Wash Your Hands Etsy pattern. So, can't show you. If there's going to be a picture, it'll be right there. Okay, so here is my progress. So I finished the words wash your hands at the top, and I got started on the words on the bottom, the way the green goo kind of starts to, you know, drip down and mingle into the words. So I love this pattern. So wash your hands is at the top. So cute and timely. You know, amazingly enough, I started this before COVID started because we've always had to remind my son to wash his hands. So there. Okay. So this one is my Welcome Spring by the Drawn Thread. And there is what it looks like. Alright, so 4 prompts. It got a teacups spell. So fill with water and eye of egg to see them. And since there's eggs in that basket, I used this one. A member of the rat family. Alright, so if you look up the rat family, it has a long, long list. And spring hair is actually on that list. So this one got used. And then something you can find in the jungle. Well, birds and flowers can be found in the jungle. And this last one this week was something that is either stitched with silk or could be, would be great, stitched in silk. And this one has dinky dyes, NPI, and a silken color. So silk, silk, and silk. So here is where I'm at. So I've completed the sea and the flower. I am very close to this finish because I just need his beak, and I'm right now working on the vine that will come around and go down. I did the first leg in the M because this back stitching will trail across that stitching. So I finished that, and fun, super fun little project. And apparently, after a long dry spell with prompts, it seems to have come into its own by finding a bunch of prompts. Alright, so number 23 on our, 22 on our roster for today is my Winter House by Tiny Modernist. So this one got some stitches for one prompt, something that you could make a snowball out of, and of course snow, so he got some love. So I finished up the trees and did the little birdies, and so coming along. It will get done whenever it gets done. But I think the colors in this are so pretty. Nice composition of colors. Okay, so number 23. This is my magazine monthly challenge start for November. And these magazine ones are gonna be a kind of a pain in my tuchus for these. So picture there. Alright, so here is my progress. So this is part of the pumpkin at the top, and then the pattern just says give thanks, and a row of pumpkins. So this is a hands-on design, I believe. Pretty certain it's a hands-on design because it's so iconic design of. It has the whole. There's a style. She has a style, and it definitely fits that style. So just to give you an idea, I am not using called fors for this project. I've decided to go with Classic Colorworks Toasted Marshmallow for the white color, Gassed Portobello for the brown, Weeks Dyeworks Twilight for the blue-gray, and Weeks Dyeworks Hunter for the green color. So those are what I chose to use for it. Okay, so now we are at the end of our list, number 24. This is a start and finish on the 23rd of October. It was a project for the El Paso virtual Stitchers retreat that we had, and it's a little snowflake fob ornament. So it's designed as a scissors fob, but I decided to just make it into an ornament. So it's a band of snowflakes. It's just stitched and beaded, and then it was stitched on a bookmark fabric. So then you wove cord in, you pulled threads and you wove cord in the top and the bottom, and you cinched it so that it would gather around. Stuffed it and made a little tassel for it out of what's the word? Pearl cotton and twisted cord out of that same pearl cotton for, so just a cute little ornament. Now if I had to do it again, I would use a white cord to do the gathering, because it just doesn't quite look right, but it's good enough for just a simple little ornament. So this was designed by Faithworks Designs, so Nancy Waller designed this for us for the retreat. Okay, that's it. That is all of my whips. So I have completed the 4 whips for my What Whip challenge. I just have to, sometime in the next month, FFO one of them, and that will finish that. I forgot to mention, so for October, my whip go was Compass Rose, but you saw that in the last video because I did that video on the 4th. And then for November, my whip go was Maroon Trio, so it got finished. The other, I really should just grab that freaking notebook and bring it in here with me. My other whip go for this month is one that was already finished. So I think I'll do a whip go wrap up video at the end. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do a whip go wrap up. So what I'm looking forward to for December to finish up whip go is, one of the projects was already finished and the other one is my Christmas in the Pines. So I'll find a prompt to fit that into in the next month. And now the only hitch on my whip go is one of the projects that I put on there was my Emerald Mermaid, and I managed to get 200 stitches. It's either 200 or 300 stitches in her before I decided to abandon her. So if I manage to restart it before the end of the year and get those last bit of stitches, that was my goal on projects. My goal was to get 500 stitches on whatever projects got called or finish them. So if I can get her restarted before the end of the year, I will have completed my whip go. If I don't, you know, it's not huge, it's not a huge deal. Since whip go is what you make it to be, I might make a substitution for her, something that isn't already on my whip go. Maybe I will just, well, we'll see. You'll see what I end up doing at my whip go wrap up. And then I think I'll do a combined video, whip go wrap up with whip go plans for the next year, or who knows, maybe I'll do 2 separate videos for that. Decisions. Okay. So thank you guys for joining me for this, and if you have any questions, please let me know. If you want my partially finished Emerald Mermaid, put your comment. I want to stitch the Emerald Mermaid, and I'll do a drawing for it. All right. Take care, everybody, and happy stitching. Hey guys, so you probably noticed that I didn't insert the things when I said I would. I decided that I would just print off pictures to put in with the projects, so that for the next, X number of update videos, and wood parades, I can just have them in the bags with them. So this was the Give Thanks pattern, and it's from the Just Cross Stitch October 2014. My Wash Your Hands pattern from Etsy. That's what the full thing will look like. And then Scarecross Silhouette came from Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2015. And that's what mine will end up looking like. The pattern actually has like 2 more scarecrows, but I decided I only needed that much of it. So that's it. Alright, see you guys next time.